Hello and welcome to future YouTube viewers to this video in which we will be covering one of my favourite cringe lords that does like anti-SJW content still, and that is someone called the Britisher. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, the Britisher, essentially his Rantsona is a British redcoat. So kind of like from the Zulu sort of film, that kind of look, you know. So look, this is what he looks like. Why is it so small? Here we go. No, that's a better one. There we go. We got it. Okay, this is it. This is what he looks like. Okay. He is a He's like a Sargonite, so he's come out of the Sargonite kind of school, this Sargonite camp. Now, if you think this is cringy, okay, for some reason he's taken it off of the main page of his channel, but I digged it out. We're going to go ahead and watch the Britisher's absolutely cringy introduction video. So, prepare yourself. Oh.
Welcome, weary traveller of the internet, to the cyber path.
It's too loud.
Up here where the air is thin. We look down from here, atop these inhospitable heights, where hostile winds howl interminably, and we see to one side fertile plains and lush valleys, tended by civilization.
I've listened to this like 5 times, okay? Basically what he's saying is SJW's bad, okay? Yeah, this is like a British colonial version of Wake the Beast. Basically what he's saying is SJW's bad, right wing good, anti-SJW's good, and that's it. That's what he's saying. But he spends over 2 minutes waffling on with this like background image of British soldiers shooting black people. Like that's it.
And the accumulation of knowledge and wisdom since ancient times. Yet to the other side we observe the barren wasteland of irrationality, emotive screeching, and the hatred and bigotry of dogma. Nothing grows there. Between these two places lies the narrow connecting path of the virtual world. Up here some of us hold out, defending the cyber pass. We are a desperate bunch. Each one of us most likely has little in common with the other. Except that we have decided to hold this pass, to bar this way, to hold this line. Some of us up here have large fortresses with big guns, ready to blast any oncoming foe to smithereens. Others, like myself, hold a small outpost. But the thickness of the walls, the size of the guns, the number of subscribers does not matter. What counts is that we are up here, where the air is thin, everlastingly sticking our heads above the parapet, trying for trying's sake to spread a little...
Look, he's literally just showing the brutality against African natives. And this is supposed to be a good thing. This is supposed to be like, yeah, colonialism's based. Look at this dude. There's this indigenous African person on the ground getting crushed. And it's like he's just showing that like this is a good thing. Like he's on the side of the redcoats. Just absolute slaughter. And this is supposed to be portrayed as like, yeah, I'm on the side of these bad guys here. This is like a real hands are we the bad guys moment.
Little reason in this world. We simply try to stave off the insanity. To take on those innumerable hordes charging at us with ill reason and bile, so that we may hold safe, maybe only for a day more, the lush valleys behind us.
Jesus.
And so we hold the cyber pass. I am the Britisher. That is all from the cyber pass for now. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
So bear in mind, he's talking about like The whole free speech meme. Like, oh yeah, we're going to hold free speech against the SJW hordes. I've watched it like 2 or 3 times. If you're watching it for the first time and you're confused, don't feel bad. That video, it's only now, having watched it a few times, I understand what he's trying to say. And he's basically saying, like, you know, us right-wingers who are going to go online and post the gamer word and be abusive to minorities, we're holding the free speech cyber pass against the SJWs. What's this? Battle of Rorke's Drift. Oh, yeah, that is the painting. So yeah, basically, it was like a colonial outpost. Wait, so they were on this land. Oh my god, I don't even know where to start with this. Let's just get back to the content. So, listen, let's... Because the thing is, they'll paint it as a defense. But we were there, like, illegitimately, right? Like... They'll paint it as this glorious defense against the savage hordes or whatever. But it's like, we were there, like, unethically. Like, what? Anyway, come on, let's get back to this video. There's going to be a lot of US stuff in this, probably, but it is called The Britisher. It is what it is. Let's watch this. So, basically, what The Britisher does is this weekly show called That Was the Week. The Week That Was, right? So this is... kind of like Sargon of Akkad's This Week in Stupid. It's the same kind of idea. It's the same kind of meme, but called something else. So let's just get into this, and we'll just do it. Okay. Cyberpass is appropriating trans culture. True.
This is The Week That Was, dated the 20th of September 2020. This week saw me have 1 or 2 nights without much sleep. Crises in real life, what can one say? Saturday also proved somewhat chaotic. But spending a night or 2 waiting around with not much to do, one can advance a project one has been playing with quite quickly. And so my Despacito Zorro effort was born. It will be interesting to see how it fares. To those to whom it all seemed too confusing, because there are some, apparently, what do I speak of celebrating? What do I say one needs to raise up, to share, to applaud? In Zorro's world, men will risk their lives for women. Men desire women with every fibre of their being.
Just speak normal, I'm begging you. Just speak normal. Okay? We're both British, clearly. Just speak fucking normal. What's this fucking bullshit you're saying? No one fucking understands it. It's so cringy. Thinking that you're some fucking mega brain because you can say a bunch of shit that no fucker understands. Serious LARPing right now. What? He's the normal one. I don't know. He's talking about this video he did, some Despacito thing about... It's just some fucking memey YouTube video or some shit.
Would die for them. It is in fact what makes them men. Women in turn inspire men to deeds otherwise unimaginable. By being women. No one has green hair, a ring in their nose, and studies intersectional geography. No senorita is seeking to be a senor and vice versa. The people seeking to destroy and kill to achieve their ends are deemed villains. An old world held up as an ideal to provide an example, to inspire and to spread a little joy. So a celebration of male heroism, of a great Western tale,
Look,
a modern legend.
I'm going to be real with you, okay? If you spoke like this in real life, you'd be mocked in the UK. People would be like, what the fuck's this clown talking about? What's this bullshit this dude's saying? And why has he got a fucking one of those weird hats on and the monocle? And then he'd probably get a swirly. Like, you wouldn't get for the last 5 minutes in if you went into a pub right, with a load of Brits and talk like this, people would be like, what the fuck's this guy about? What the fuck's this loser talking about? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people in the UK don't dress like this. Even like, you know, I know that like the working class aren't a monolith, obviously, you know. But what I would say is that this wouldn't appeal to like apolitical. This has got a very unique appeal to like hyper online rightoids. This doesn't really have a broader appeal to like, you know, like it just it's very much serving. You know, think about it like this, right? This person came from like Sargon's community, so with that in mind, this is the kind of stuff it's tailored to. It's tailored to people that like the bullshit Sargon of Akkad spouts. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Tell me, what was confusing again? If you wish to defend your culture, then first and foremost you need a romantic soul. Yes, it is not a complete coincidence that I chose Zorro, the deeply romantic Spanish caballero. To stand for your culture, your civilization, is first and foremost to love it. And that means passion. Yes, autism will not get you there. As I have said again and again, accounting, quotations by 18th century philosophers, and calling people communist will achieve nothing. It's about love. Love of art, love of a way of life, love of country, of nation, of people. Dare I say it, a love of women helps a great deal in that regard. If that is too namby-pamby...
I know, his voice is so ridiculous. He's not a caballero, that's means horseman, really. This dude is a dollar store British Jordan Peterson. That's so true. Pick an attribute of Sargon that makes your right toward PP go to. Oh my god. No, Birdie, no. Don't be... Like, yes, he is difficult to understand. Listen, as a British person, even I'm struggling with what he's saying. Because he's speaking as if, like... He's basically speaking as if he's speaking prose from, like, Lord of the Rings, the book, you know? He thinks it makes him sound smart. Yeah.
And you would rather occupy the well-trodden ground of facts don't care about your feelings, then you will lose. And you will do so over and over. For the truth is, we need a bit of Zorro in our lives. But back to my efforts. So when it comes to future projects, I have various ideas for little ditties. They will, as is usual for me, be a rather eclectic bunch of productions. I am tempted to produce a spoken clip accompanying the Zorro video. In fact, I already wrote a draft script at the very start. We'll see if I take it further, or if I just leave things with Luis Fonsi. But let's see how a video with the world's most successful online track in history fares on this channel, shall we? I mean, it would be odd if it would get very few views, wouldn't it? For those wondering, monetization is of course not mine. There is no intention to infringe on anyone's copyright here, so it all goes to music labels and film companies if need be. The main thing is, we have a little
What's
fun
he talking
while
about?
we're still allowed on here.
No one
Furthermore,
fucking
I've
understands
made some
you.
changes in the management of my channel, which again I'm keen to see if it achieves anything against the crushing suppression I've been subjected to, especially in the last few months. But yes, I intend to take risks, have fun, and see what happens. So please continue to expect news, opinion, politics, history, satire, high and low culture, and anything else that takes my fancy. Especially as my editing skills have improved over time, I intend to do what best I can for as long as I can.
What does he mean his editing skills? Is literally just... For 3 minutes, it's just been this static image. That bit at the start. And then a static image for 3 minutes. And he's sucking his own dick dry about his editing skills. What the fuck is he talking about? It's just a static image. I tell you what, you can just tell by this video my editing skills have improved massively. What's he talking about? Let's see what kind of editing prowess he's going to show us in the rest of the video.
And to do some showing off. So eat, drink, and be merry. For tomorrow we die. Anyway, enough of this. On with the news. There's nothing quite like breaking a world record.
Wait, listen, you want to see editing? Listen, if you want to see editing,
Drink and be merry.
watch this.
For tomorrow we die.
Watch this transition.
Anyway, enough of this.
Watch.
On with the news.
There it
There's
is.
nothing quite
There
like-
it is. That's the editing skills we've come here for, Britisher. Okay, that's the editing skills I signed up to your channel for. What the fuck is he talking about? Like a PowerPoint slide. Oh my god, this dude is so full of himself.
Like breaking a world record. But it's all the more special when it's the outdoor pole vault record which has stood since 1994 and was set by the legendary Sergei Bubka. Frankly, I remember Sergei Bubka in his heyday. If I recall correctly, he had a sponsorship deal with Nike, which seemed to pay him a bonus whenever he set another world record, which in turn meant that he would set it 1 centimetre at a time. This despite everyone believing he could go much higher. But then Sergei Bubka wasn't daft. Anyhow, the honour of breaking the legendary old man's record goes to Mondo Duplantis. But spare a thought for those who would be involved in another world record. Ripdorf was made to play a match against SV Holdenstedt in the 11th tier of German football. Except Ripdorf did not want to play, due to the plague with no name, because YouTube...
Who is he talking about? Oh my god. Wait.
...doesn't like it. We all know of what I speak. But the football authorities saw it different.
Wait, does he think if you say coronavirus it will negatively impact your video? That's just not true. These people act like, oh, YouTube's so bad, if you say coronavirus, they'll like, it will affect your video. They don't know how any of it works. They're just so fortunate that the absolute fucking bullshit they pump out, for some reason, is somewhat popular. So it gets fed into the algorithm, and the algorithm treats it favourably. But they don't even fucking know what's going on. You know what I mean? Maybe I need to say that in the future. We all know of what I speak.
That if they forfeited, they would be fined. So Ripdorf turned up with a minimum number of 7 players, rather than the traditional 11 on the field, and sought to take no part in the game. It had been reported that Holdenstedt players had come into contact with someone who later tested positive. Holdenstedt compromised by not playing their first team, but their B side, so to speak. However, not sure whether any of them had been exposed, Ripdorf was none too keen. So what resulted was a match in which only one side sought to play, and the other was keen on social distancing. The result was a staggering 37-0, which surely must stand as some sort of a record for an official game. But then I guess the year 2020 just keeps on giving. But talking of matters sporting, then there was this. Lamine Diack, 87 years old from Senegal, has been found guilty of corruption when he was president of the International Association of Athletics Federations. In fact, if you're an athlete caught cheating, he can make your problems go away. Well, for the appropriate remuneration, of course. In short, he was as bent as can be. And this begs one question.
What is going on?
Surprised. He was Lamine Diack from Senegal. What I mean is, we all know that Africa is a sump of corruption. Not only Africa, South America and Asia are just as bad. That's
interesting, isn't it? Interesting how he singles out particular parts of the world as being corrupt, isn't it? Exactly. The UK, the US, Europe, it's all corrupt. Listen, everywhere's corrupt, okay? But he seems to be very concerned with corruption in areas of the world where predominantly their skin isn't white. Interesting.
Said, Africa is a very special case, and more so, we all know it. So why do we pretend otherwise? Because we must be pretending otherwise. Else, why do we put Lamine Diack from Senegal in charge of a sport where, well, not cheating is fairly integral to the whole thing? The next Football World Cup is going to be held in the desert, in Qatar. They assured us they could build climate-controlled sports stadia so footballers could run about despite the crippling heat in the Arabian summer. Of course, it was all nonsense. Everybody knew that. Just as the allegations of bribery just won't go away in this case. And it's not as if major figures in world football have not been found guilty of financial irregularities in recent years. But better yet, all those African football associations, all those Caribbean and Pacific football associations. In some cases, we're not even sure they have a team, but they sure have a football association with a vote at the FIFA conference. The vote usually being for sale to the highest bidder.
Yeah, why is he... FIFA, which is... Yeah, FIFA is corrupt as fuck. Why is he pointing to all of these obscure, weird, like, things? Like, what? Oh my god, this is. I don't know what other conclusion to come to other than this dude is engaging in some. Yeah. It's almost like the countries he mentioned had corrupt leaders installed by a colonialising force, so they could continue controlling them, while pretending to have decolonized. Interesting. I wonder what country would do that. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Listen, I know that word. I know these fuckers complain about that word getting bandied about, but the fact that he's specifically pointing to places in the world that are predominantly not white, when you can actually look at like FIFA, for example, which is ridiculously corrupt. Yeah, exactly.
Why are we all playing this game? We know why. Because if we don't, we'll all be accused of racism. If we actually say that perhaps we shouldn't recruit the head of the World Health Organization, who can then be in the pocket of the Chinese Communist Party from an African country, then of course we're being racist. But we all know. So what is worse? Knowingly going along with the appointment of corrupt people to ever more important positions of power, or being accused of racism by the corrupt con men who wish to gain said offices? We know they're bent. Is anybody surprised that the Senegalese chap was effectively selling passes to cheat at the Olympic Games? Isn't it funny that when the scandal first broke, and one realised that the Russian Athletics Federation and the head of World Athletics seemed to have a comfy little arrangement, and one would need to clean things up, one then chose the Briton Sebastian Coe. One didn't opt for someone from Uganda, Zaire, Botswana, or Bangladesh. No, suddenly one needed a Brit. Or maybe a German, a Dane, or a Swede. Why was that? We all know. And it has nothing to do with race. But it has everything to do with culture. So the question simply has...
Oh, it's not to do with the race. It's to do with culture. There it is, people. It doesn't take long. After we got through his wordy bullshit opening and a bunch of vague gesturing to, oh yeah, these countries which happen to be majority like non-white are corrupt, then we get to the it's not race, it's culture stuff. Little mask, a little bit of a mask slipping there. His pith hat slipped off his head for just a second.
Has to be, how much longer do we want to play this silly game? Where the Chinese accuse us of a racist, imperialist, colonialist legacy if we don't go along with whatever corrupt entity from darkest Africa they would prefer to do business with. If when the verdict is read and none of us are the least bit surprised, then we all know.
Wait!
And
Did you hear that? He said darkest Africa. Holy shit. I know we're trying to hide behind... Oh, I just meant dark as in, you know... Yeah, he's bringing in all the big guns. China's involved. I don't know. I don't fucking know. This dude just basically wants to shit on. Anyway, come on. Let's crack on.
All know and we nonetheless go along with it, we are lying to ourselves. Why are we doing that? If in the end, when things need tidying up, we oddly opt for one of the racist imperialist colonialists from Europe or the US, why are we not doing so from the outset? Because next time we appoint some high-ranking official from Nigeria to whatever international body, it's going to be better, right? We all know it isn't. Frankly, we'd be surprised if he were not corrupt. So we keep on doing it, because otherwise we're accused of racism, imperialism, colonialism, etc., etc. How long is the same old trick going to keep working? When, at long last, do we say that we don't care? When will we say so to bent regimes in Central Africa, to banana republics in Central America, to Black Lives Matter, to ludicrous student organisations, and to any other authority that comes along demanding that we bend the knee and raise our fist in Black Power salute in condemnation of our evil...
It's funny how he points these different groups out and he's like completely unwilling to talk about, like, say, the authority of like the government, like the UK government or something like that, right? Or the US government. Yeah, I know. Literally using a racist imperialist colonialist as avatar. Yeah. Exactly.
Past. That wasn't actually that evil and lifted much of the people accusing us of racism from a life in grass skirts and mud huts. Because in all these spheres, in the end, there's always someone on the make. There's always republics in Central America, to Black Lives Matter, to ludicrous student organisations, and to any other authority that comes along demanding that we bend the knee and raise our fist in Black Power salute in condemnation of our evil past. that wasn't actually that evil and lifted much of the people accusing us of racism from a life in grass skirts and mud huts. Because in all these spheres, in the
This dude isn't playing games. He's going straight in. This dude ain't fucking about. He's coming in hot, okay? Yeah, definitely not racist, saying shit like that. Ooh.
In the end, there's always someone on the make. There's always a Lamine Diack from Senegal. So to hell with it. Let us sooner be called racist than to continually turn a blind eye to obvious corruption. So there appears to be another wave of this plague with no name on its way. The UK government has now announced that by the end of this month, people can be fined if they have tested positive for this disease and fail to self-isolate. The fines are quite hefty, £1,000 for a first offence, and repeat offences can go as high as £10,000. Now, what a coincidence that it should be that figure. Because one or two people were fined that £10,000 amount for breaching lockdown rules. Famously, Jeremy Corbyn's brother Piers was fined this for organising a protest against the lockdown. However, we are still to hear a peep about the organisers of the Black Lives Matter protests, with accompanying riots, desecration of monuments, and numerous police injuries to be fined at all. So when they all tell us that people will be fined if they are breaking self-isolation rules due to a positive test result, does that apply to everyone equally? Because let's face it, it has not so far. Talking of deterrent law being all over the place, The Guardian reports that thus far 5 people identified as having been directly involved with the toppling of the Colston statue in Bristol have been let off with cautions. 3 men and 1 woman have had their details passed.
Oh no, the people that just knocked a statue over have only got cautions. I'm fairly certain that if the British had his way, they'd be given the death penalty. If the British had any influence in this, they'd be on the executioner's block already. Imagine wishing, imagine. Oh my god, I don't know. The poor statue got wet. It was thrown in the river. Won't someone think of the statues? It's literally like a victimless crime, right? Like, who is the victim of this? The people that aren't going to be able to see a slave trader up as a statue anymore. I don't know. You deport them to Australia.
On to prosecutors for legal action to be considered. Do you remember the mob which beset that statue in Bristol? They've only been able to find 9 people, over half of which they've let walk so far. And it's not as if we know action will be taken against the others. This is highly annoying. Mobs besetting public monuments must be dealt with. We cannot have people acting with impunity like this.
Must be dealt with. I wonder what that means. Holy shit.
The view appears to be that they were at least in part justified in their actions, as they represented a popular movement concerned with civil rights. No doubt that's why no police intervened, something for which I believe they should be prosecuted for negligence. But we can all convince ourselves that we are operating on behalf of some greater good. It gives us no justification whatsoever. How can we protect our city centres, our artistic and architectural heritage, if we allow the authorities to choose where they will uphold the law and where not? The toppling of the Colston statue was an act of public vandalism that, going completely unchecked, was permitted to inspire similar acts elsewhere. But more so, there is the political cowardice. Where are the politicians speaking out against this? Not some meal-mouthed support of the rule of law, but the wholehearted condemnation of this entire affair. A mob felt entitled to have a go at a statue.
Why is he spending so much time talking about a fucking statue? What? Oh my fucking god. These people are so fucking pathetic. Oh, this is the Britisher. Some British cringe lord complaining about a statue getting knocked over. Yeah, he does sound a bit like Arch Warhammer. I don't know. I think he's just like a Sargonite. I'm pretty sure he's just like a Sargonite.
In the centre of a major city, they brought the tools by which to haul it down. This was not some random spur-of-the-moment act. This was planned. They then dragged and rolled the statue to the harbour in plain sight, where they dumped it in the water, all the while with no action by the police, with the mayor then making mealy-mouthed commentary about not condoning breaking the law, but nonetheless making it clear that he was happy for the statue to be gone. So a planned action, with what appears to be pretty clear political approval, and no police intervention made whatsoever, even though this went on at length. And now we're told 4 people's files are being sent to the prosecutors. 4? That's all? And if the process so far is anything to go by, I would not hold my breath that this will lead to anything. But the Colston story does not end there this week. No, the Colston Society of Bristol is no more. Yes, the charitable umbrella organisation...
Oh my god, this dude is so annoying. He gives a fuck about anything. This is all based on some fucking old white slave trader motherfucker. Breaking news, violent mob topples defenceless inanimate object. When will this rampant violence be stopped? Yeah, I don't know. Literally, like, listen, in the UK, it wasn't like that statue was the centre point of our culture. I used to work in Bristol when I was younger. I lived near in a place near Bristol and worked in Bristol for about a year. I never even fucking heard about this statue. I never even saw it. It's not like some big cultural landmark, even within Bristol. It literally is just a symbol of our previous historical acceptance of the slave trade. Like, no one in Bristol gives a fuck about this statue. It's ridiculous.
Decided to wind up, rather than seek to operate under a different name. The charitable organisation concerned itself chiefly with local education and donated roughly £20,000 a year for such purposes. In 2018, in what appeared to be a particularly good year, they gave £60,000. Not that it matters. The organisation has only been going for the last 275 years. That's an awful lot of money they must have raised for local education over the centuries. But none of this matters because of what I could call slavery derangement syndrome. There are no slaves anymore that have any connection to Edward Colston, but it matters...
Slavery derangement syndrome. Slavery derangement syndrome. What? Okay. This guy is definitely not Poggers, I agree.
Does not. Anything done in his name must cease, because even good done in his name is bad, because slavery. So better not to do anything at all than to...
Wait, hang on. Who does? Sohi Rifter seems to have some problems with your degeneration of his total Paulica. I don't know. Wait, hang on. Oh, I see the comment. Getting mad about statues being pulled down is dumb. What they sound do is replacement with a monument to the victims of black violence. Hey, Sohi Rifter, listen. I'm revoking your free speech pass, okay? For 10 minutes. Think about what you said. Think about what you've done. And come back in 10 minutes, okay?
To do something good, but relating to a name of which you disapprove. Because all history must be pristine, else it must be nil and void. In just the same way we saw treated 18th century Enlightenment philosopher David Hume, after whom a modern building belonging to the University of Edinburgh was named. I say was, it is no longer so.
Wait, what is this? What is this? Edinburgh Uni cancels David Hume by renaming Tower. How is that cancelling him? What are you talking about? Oh my god, the things that Voitoid says cancel culture, honestly, it kills me every time I see it. As if renaming something is cancelling someone. Dave, how is he cancelled? What? How is that cancelling anyone? This isn't cancelling. Oh my god, this pains me. This pains me.
It made too many students feel uncomfortable. It appears David Hume, not being a soothsayer, did not know what attitudes about race might be like in the early 21st century. Thus he deserves no honour whatsoever. He was not free of sin, therefore he must be expunged. His name thus has been stripped from the building, which will henceforth simply be known as 40 George Square. It appears some have erroneously taken this to mean that the building is now named after George Floyd. No, from what I understand, George Square has been known as George Square in Edinburgh for a great deal longer than that modern tower block has ever been there. But nonetheless, it is another annulment of history, another conscious decision not to commemorate a worthy of the past, in this case by a fairly prestigious university. All this driven by students, as though they in any way owned the place. Students don't own universities. It's time someone told them. Students know nothing. Otherwise, they would be the people teaching, not studying. It is high time that someone at these pathetic institutions stood up to the student body and told them what for. You are here to learn, not here to demand...
Listen. Wait. Yeah, exactly. How can you cancel someone that's dead? Oh my god. He died in... This motherfucker died in 1776. And because a tower's getting renamed, now he's cancelled. Do you know what? Osmosis. That is actually unironically true. Death is the ultimate cancel culture. That is true. Right? Listen, this dude was cancelled back in 1776 by whatever the fuck he died from, okay? I'm fairly certain, listen, I don't think David Hume's going to be too concerned about this tower getting renamed, okay? Oh my god. This is...
Command and command. If presence at a university should teach you anything, it should be that you know very little indeed. So shut up. Do what your instructors tell you and show a little respect. And if you can't handle that, go away. The story of the week was no doubt that of the death of US Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Here we go.
The lady has been in bad health for some time. Donald Trump, for once, managed to strike the right note on hearing of her...
Wait, Viv, listen, chat's moving pretty quick. There's quite a few people here, I'm sorry. Everyone's got good memes, okay? It just comes across as anti-intellectual, right? I don't know. Like, I mean, in terms of like speaking down to students and they know nothing. Oh my god, here we go. Okay, what sort of baby brain takes have we got in store now?
Her demise. No matter what fierce opponents of his might say, he handled it well.
She just died? Wow. I didn't know that. I just, you're telling
the
me
music.
that for the first time. She led an amazing life. What else can you say? She was an amazing woman. Whether you agreed or not, she was an amazing woman who led an amazing life.
Yeah, I mean, literally, like everyone, even lefties were like, okay, fair enough, Trump. You got that one bit right, okay? But what's the music about? I think everyone's like, what the fuck's going on with that music? Why is Elton John sneaking into the background there? I just don't know where that comes from. I've got no clue.
Sad to hear that. I am sad to hear that. Thank you very much.
But then immediately we come to the next question. Who gets to nominate the next justice to the now vacant position? The situation is quite simple. With Justice Ginsburg still in place, the balance within the Supreme Court was one of 4 Liberal justices nominated by Democrats and 5 Conservatives nominated by Republicans. If Justice Ginsburg's place were to be successfully nominated by Donald Trump, it would tilt the Supreme Court to 3 Liberals and 6 Conservatives. The balance would be significantly shifted, and as we know, with the justices being appointed for life, this shift could be in place for decades. But with 43 days left to the US election, would it be up to Donald Trump? After all, he is the incumbent president. And here is the relevant tweet. We were put in this position of power and importance to make decisions for the...
Here is the relevant tweet. Why would you go to Donald Trump, the current sitting president, for like why would you not go to like a precedent that's been set? Or like American legislation? Why is he going to a tweet from Donald Trump? To reference what happens next. Of course Donald Trump's going to be like, yeah, we should be the one to nominate the next justice. Like, obviously, he's supremely biased. Oh my god, this dude is fucking brain dead. Holy shit.
The people who so proudly elected us, the most important of which has long been considered to be the selection of United States Supreme Court justices. We have this obligation without delay. Next, we have Mitch McConnell, the Republican Senate leader, saying he'll make sure Trump's replacement for Ruth Bader Ginsburg gets a vote. But the Republicans have a problem inherent to their position. Here is a quotation from the very same Mitch McConnell when addressing the matter of Barack Obama wanting to nominate a Supreme Court justice in the last year of his presidency. The American people should have a voice in the selection of their next Supreme Court justice. Therefore, this vacancy should not be filled until we have a new president. And here is Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, no less, addressing the very same issue.
This is the last year of a lame duck president, and if Ted Cruz or Donald Trump get to be president, they've all asked us not to confirm or take up a selection by President Obama. So if a vacancy occurs in their last year of their first term, guess what? You will use their words against them. I want you to use my words against me. If there's a Republican president in 2016 and a vacancy occurs in the last year of the first term, you can say, Lindsey Graham said, let's let the next president, whoever it might
spicy.
be, make that nomination, and you could use my words against me and you'd be absolute.
Now, I'm sorry, but this makes the situation crystal clear. Much as I understand that Conservatives would like to see...
Oh, the Britisher! The Britisher with a good take. Holy shit! The British is actually going to have a good take. Get ready for it.
...the opportunity and rush through some appointment, though this would be very rushed indeed, the shortest nomination and appointment period of a Supreme Court justice in history, I just can't see how they can pull this off, given the precedent they themselves have set. And it is not as though Donald Trump can come away clean and it would only affect some of his allies in Congress. You heard it in the Lindsey Graham clip. Both he and Ted Cruz requested any appointment be postponed.
I will be putting forth a nominee next week. It will be a woman.
So what's changed? The fact that he is now the one in power? This is quite dirty. We need to be clear about this. And before people dismiss this with all politics is dirty in the comment section, you don't say that when the other side plays dirty. Frankly, I think this is a misstep by the Trump camp. To my mind, this renders them hypocrites in the eyes of the public. This could do damage to the presidential campaign. It could cost them the presidency and poison the reputation of the Republicans. And for what? A Supreme Court justice position? For if Trump wins the election, he gets to nominate the justice anyhow. So what's to be gained? Or is there in fact more to the polls that show Biden in the lead and the Republicans are desperate to stack the Supreme Court?
You've got to think, right? If the Republicans were confident that they were going to win the election, then there wouldn't need to be this rush. Because what does it matter? If they're going to win, they can just wait until the election, which is in 2 months' time, and they can just do it then. What difference does it make to them? It's 2 months. But obviously they are concerned that they might lose the election, so they want to try and stack the court before Trump's voted out of office. Yeah, that's true. I'm amazed. I mean, the Democrats, it was over a year though, right? But yeah, anyway, let's finish
before
this
they
video.
lose power. But talking of grand words and politicking on the world stage, I thought before I would go, I would share with you this highly important message by Democrat presidential candidate and presently front-runner, if the polls are to be believed, Joe Biden. This visionary had this epic statement to make, and I think we should give him his due and listen.
Because if you could take care, if you were a quartermaster, you can sure and hell take care of running a, department store thing, where in the second floor of the ladies' department or whatever, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't think anyone can disagree with that, surely. So, that concludes this edition of The Week That Was. That is all from the Cyberpass for now. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Oh my god. Yeah, they always dunk on Biden for like, but Biden's got like a speech impediment or something, right? Like he's got like a stutter. I don't know. That was terrible. Oh. No context Biden clip. Yeah, I know. Anyway, there we go. There's the Britisher. I'm glad. I mean, listen. To be fair, okay. Oh yeah, listen. Like Biden obviously has got some issues, but anyway, listen. Although it's easy to go, oh yeah, he said the thing about the Supreme Court. Anyone with half a brain can figure out that it's a massive hypocrisy on the part of the Republicans to try and push someone through, you know? But as we know, rightoids don't care about hypocrisy. They'll accuse you of hypocrisy. Oh, you're doing this, and this, which is hypocritical. But they will then engage in blatant hypocrisy themselves. They don't care. They've got no principles. So it was a minor point in the British's favour. But other than that, you know, I mean, lest we forget the racism, okay? The racism that he was doing earlier. I need a YouTube channel called No Context Biden, yeah. Anyway, look. Oh my God. Clearly heavily influenced by Sargon. A lot of cringe. A lot of kind of colonial type thinking. Yeah. All kind of yikes all over, really. And that's it. That's all I've got to say about the British show.